Here we are, fellas. I'm No Sleeves 12, and this is Short Side Wristers, the NHL 19 podcast. If you're watching it on YouTube, then I guess it's a video. Anyways, today we are going to discuss the new HUT content, as well as go over some esports stuff and some of my takes on how the content works later in the year, and some ideas and whatnot that I want to bounce around. So let's hop into the new content that we got today, Monday, May 13th. Headlining today's content is the flashbacks, including the 99 Brent Burns for the Wild on Wing, which is cool. They did Dust and Bufflin a little while ago. I think these are really cool cards. We're going to get into that in a little bit. They also released new prime times for the weekend, and these prime times included some of the international players that had good weekends in the World Cup, which is cool. One thing I'm going to get into a little bit more in depth about my thoughts on that as well, but it did include a 99 Nikita Kucherov for Russia, so now there's another 99 Kucherov, which is obviously cool, and my 92 Logan Couture, my boy, but he's already got a 99. So if you're looking for specific cards, this isn't really a good, route. But yeah, as well, we got new released the 98 LUNDQVIST. So if you guys did the vote, picked up the free card, much like how the community team of the year worked, looks like LUNDQVIST. This is kind of obvious. He had 4 to BU. This is pretty easy. And then they re-released the legend cards that you can work towards to trading in for the new Nations of Hockey sets. So the 93 Sundin, the Currys, the Teppo Numanins, and the Marcus Naslins. So let's hop into it and get more in depth with the flashback cards. First on the docket is the Penguins 95 Chris KUNITZ, 99 speed. His shot accuracy is under 90. He doesn't really have any good team synergies. Nothing. He's not really big. So unless you're doing a specific build that requires KUNITZ, if you're a Penguins build, this one is okay, I guess, but kind of obscure. Following him up, he has the 93 Toronto Alexander Steen. This is the Steen I remember with staging back in the middle 2000s with the Leafs. Again, nothing crazy. He's a bit bigger, 6'2", 211, 99 speed, which is good, and a shot that's all over 90. It's a cool card, but again, if you're doing a Toronto build, you're probably not including Steen, but I enjoyed seeing it. Following him is the 96 Mike Green for the Capitals. Now, he's obviously very good. 6'1", 207, shoots right, which is big. 99 speed, which is awesome. His shot, here's what I want to say, though. These flashback cards are really cool, but they're remembered. Some of them are remembered for something. Mike Green once scored 30 goals. Why not have his shot reflect that? You know what I mean? For another example would be, I'm going to use Joe Thornton because, well, I'm a Homer and a Sharks fan. If they were to release a flashback card for him, why not have him have 99 passing? Kind of accentuate what it is, what they were fantastic at, to kind of make that flashback card feel special, because it doesn't really make any sense why his shooting is under 90, other than his power. It just, he scored 30 goals, like, it was nuts. Next is the 95 Dallas Stars LOUI ERIKSSON. Man, I forgot all about him on the Stars. What a terrible trade for Boston. Unbelievable. Anyways, this is actually a pretty good card. 6'2", 196 pounds, shoots left, so he's going to be a good winger. 99 speed, shots all over 90. Not a bad card, especially if you're a Dallas fan. Going to probably be rare to get, but again, another cool card if you are a Dallas fan or even if you just pack them. Next, we've got 93 Oilers, Andrew Cogliano. Man, I remember him back with the Lech Hemsky before Taylor Hall and all of that. He was one of the better young players for them. Always put up 40 points. Like, if you go look at his career point totals, it's nuts. He was so consistent at 40 points. And but he's got 99 speed, always a very good skater, but under 90 shots, and he's not like an all-time Oiler great, so I don't really know the the want to go after him, but yeah, so this would be one I'd kind of just pass on. Moving on to the headliner, the 99 winger Brent Burns. This dude's an absolute unit, one of my favorite players. The Minnesota Wild version of him is a sick card. This is an awesome one if you're a Wild fan or if you're just, still playing the game looking for guards to go after. 6'5", 230-pound winger is nuts. He also has a great shot. This would be a perfect winger card, especially considering his wrist shot is better than his slap shot. And then lastly, the Carolina Hurricanes 99 Eric Staal, 6'4", 209 center, 88 faceoffs. It's a little weird just because, I don't know, it's a 99 overall card. I think it'd be a little bit higher. But nonetheless, all over 97 shooting, 99 speed. Guy's a unit. It's a great card for this stage of the game, whether you're making a Carolina build or just having, an end game team. This is a fantastic card to try and get. I have a feeling it's going to cost quite a bit, though. So something I wanted to bring up, because the World Cup is going on, I wish that they would release cards that were still relevant. A lot of the cards of the lesser known European players or world players that are having great times at this tournament, they're releasing them, but because they're already such low informs, there's very low. An exception would be this 99 Kucherov, who looks awesome. Just another 99 for you if you can't get the team of the year, but this looks like an awesome card. But for example, the lower tiered cards like Rudolph Balcers, like 80 overall, which is, you're just not usable really. Even if you're starting out and you're trying to build a cheap team, it's not going to be usable. I wish that they would do something maybe like what they did with the Stanley Cup cards. Maybe release a few stars of the countries at lower ratings, and then they progress as it goes on. I'm also, here is the 98 LUNDQVIST you guys voted on. 4 to BU, 4 to T. This is a sick card, and Rangers fans are obviously going to love it, but again, it was just something I was thinking about. It doesn't really make sense to have release such low informs because, again, even if you can acquire them for super cheap, they're not really going to be of any value. Last thing I want to point out, the alumni cards to get the higher rated international players are now in packs again. So the 93 Sundin, if you trade in that 93 Sundin plus 4 Stanley Cup collectibles, you'll be able to get the 96 version. And so it just kind of helps the cost of that and bring that down a little bit, which is a great idea. And, that's good to see. Next, want to discuss the Esports Hockey League tournament presented by Space and League Gaming that just happened this past week in the finals for it. If you like competitive sixes, it was really a good event to watch. They played their final series for a total of $3,500, so it was a kind of bigger prize pool for sixes. Obviously, it's nowhere near the Versus stage yet, but it was good to see that the sixes got a big event or a bigger event like this. Shout out to Big Baller Brand that took home the championship with Bones on Demand, Call Me Jakku, Jemima, Nuge, and Flowmaster Joe and D Rally in net took home the championship. Gotta say though, that game 7, they pushed it to game 7. Entourage did against Big Baller Brand, and it went 4 overtimes. And the state of sixes is not all that fun to watch with how little skill goals go in. What I mean by that is it's basically just fired on net, hope for a rebound, that kind of thing. At the highest level, you're going to see a lot of really low-scoring games at the highest competitive level, which I hope is fixed in the future. You just can't snipe on goalies in sixes at this current build, and it kind of leads to this uglier trap kind of style of hockey that is kind of tough to watch. But I'll say this, when stuff's on the line and you're just every shot you're throwing at the net, it made it pretty interesting, especially when Shekel, the goalie for Entourage, put on a performance, robbing Big Ball Brand a ton, and 4 overtimes. It was long, but I could not watch. It was very, very exciting, and there is a summer season, so you guys, if you think you're good at sixes, go to leaguegaming.com and you can sign up there. Also for summer season, guys, I know if you still play HUT or NHL in the summer and you are not playing League Gaming, I'm not sponsored by them. I've been on the site for about 2 years now. I started summer season of 2017. If you were playing in the summer and you are not playing on LG and still playing NHL, you're missing a gigantic opportunity because, one, obviously we know content fades, the hype for the next game comes, and then the player base just drops right off because, the interest in hockey drops off. It's like any sports game. But the NHL might see a little bit more because it's the summer. Join up for League Gaming summer season. It's 9 weeks long. It's a fairly good experience. It's very in-depth. If you have any questions about signing up, let me know, and I'll be able to I'll be sure to walk you through anything. I can also help out with some admin stuff and send it over to the guys that need to see it if you're having any problems getting onto the site. It's very fun. You'll start in the CHL, work your way up. It's very good. So if you guys want to check that out, leaguegaming.com. Link is in the description. Also, on the esports front, the Gaming World Championship regionals are about to take place. Europe is up first, and you are going to be able to see that this weekend. Great production broadcast with Arda, Nasher, and a bunch of other really talented crew members, so that'll be really fun to watch this weekend. I got to see how the drafts work for Canada and the US, be kind of involved and see behind the scenes how they went, and huge opportunity missed by not showing the draft live, but maybe that's something they could work on for next year if there is one. And but nonetheless, I will have an article coming out for TDI's website, tdihockey.com. That's going to give my takes and things on every player for Europe's drafted team. So if you want to check that out, just watch for it on Twitter. Follow me at No Sleeves Gaming on Twitter, and it'll be up on. I'll be sure to tweet it out once it goes live on TDI's website. But again, if you want to check out the European regionals, it's this weekend, and they'll be tweeting it out all over the place. So. The last thing I want to touch on today is, again, related to HUT and its content. I think I don't know. I personally have loved HUT's content, not so much the gameplay, but the content this year compared to prior seasons. This is my first year of doing basically daily content on stream and YouTube for HUT, so I was really involved with it. I had basically the best team on PlayStation for a solid 6 months, and I loved it. And I just want to give a shout out on Reddit. Shadow, or Nicholas, the developer that is kind of one of the team members for HUT's content. He's part of the team that's, I got to meet him in Vancouver. That's kind of spearheading not so much the change, but definitely the new influx of content that we're getting so far. So whether it be stuff that they're trying out, for example, the Bufflin stuff, the Bufflin and Burns being on forward, which I really thought was a cool idea brought up by them. If you have any suggestions for 20, the content side of things is where, from my experience as a game changer, we have the biggest input. It's the easiest thing for them to change and look into. It might not happen, but hey, if we put it in the chat and they like it, they might run with it if it's easy to do. It's a lot easier than to say, hey, bumps are broken. That's a coding thing, mechanic thing. It's hard. It's not necessarily like a flick of the switch kind of thing. But HUT content, if you guys really want to see something and there's a big demand for it that maybe we're overlooking as game changers or the developers, and you have a really cool idea, please leave it in the comments section down below. I take everything now to them after my meeting with the HUT guys in Vancouver. There's a very big team, but Nicholas is the one that's kind of on Reddit. You see Shadow a lot. That is him. And just from my talks with him, he has a really big and good vision for what's to come. And I just wanted to put that out there. So make sure you leave your suggestions down below, and I'd love to discuss it. So guys, that is going to do it for today's episode. I have No Sleeves 12. The content for the remaining rest of the year. I play baseball Monday and Wednesdays, so I might not be streaming those days. But you can expect videos as much as I possibly can, or podcast things like this. Just make sure to follow me and leave a if you can subscribe, I would really appreciate it. Likes too, all that kind of stuff. But I will see you guys next time. Have a good one.